Okay, so compound inequality is an inequality. If you think about it like a compound sentence, that's when you have two sentences that are joined by the word and or but separated by a comma. Well, if you think about it in math, compound inequalities kind of means the same thing. You have two inequalities that you graph on a number line, and they're joined with the word and or the word or. Okay, so you can pause this video and copy down everything from the slide, but I'm going to continue talking. So if you think about and, the key word here is overlap. And I have a picture of, this is T.I., my man T.I. He is crossing his arms, because if you picture his arms as lines and he crosses them, both of his arms are overlapping each other. Okay, so if we're going to graph this problem right here, on a number line, let's draw our number line. Start with -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Both of our lines in our compound inequality should overlap. So let's graph the first line. X is greater than -1. So I start at -1 with an open circle. Since it's greater than, I draw an arrow to the right. If I'm graphing the second inequality, which says x is less than 2, I put an open circle at 2, and since it's less than, I shade to the left. Okay? Now, I know that in both directions, these inequalities go on forever, but since I'm just talking about this specific set, or that x is greater than -1 but less than 2, I really only need to show that these two lines that overlap are all the possible solutions. So I'm going to highlight for you that all possible solutions to this inequality fall in between -1 and 2. Now, another way to say that is that all of our numbers or x values have to be less than 2, but they have to be greater than -1. So that's just another way to write that. Okay. If we take a look at the or example, I have a picture of a man holding his arms separate from each other, because when you think about or, think about your arms and holding them out. So both of your lines should be like open arms and going in opposite directions. So if we draw our number line, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Our first inequality, x is less than -1, open circle at -1. Since x is less than -1, all of our solutions will be shaded into the left. And our second inequality, which I'll do in red, x is greater than 1, so open circle at 1. And an arrow to the right, showing that all possible solutions for x can occur to the right of 1. And you see our picture here of our line graph. Both lines are going in opposite directions, kind of looking like the gentleman here with his arms held outwards. Okay. Now, if you take a look at your worksheet that I gave you, number 2 on your worksheet looks exactly like this. 4v is greater than or equal to 32, or, keyword, -2v is greater than -2. So I know the word or means that I'm going to have two lines that are separate. So I'm going to write these side by side. 4v is greater than or equal to 32. And I'll do a different color here. -2v is greater than -2. And in order to graph this inequality on a number line, we're going to have to solve both of these. So let's solve both. For the first one, to get v by itself, I would divide both sides by 4. V is greater than but equal to, 4 goes into 32 8 times. For the second inequality, to get v by itself, I divide both sides by -2. And if you remember your rule, when you're dividing an inequality by a negative on the last step, the sign flips. So this inequality sign since I divided by a negative on both sides, flips. And now -2 divided by -2 is 1. Okay, so here is the compound inequality that we'll graph. So I'm going to graph this one first. So I'll start at +8. So let me just make my number line. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to start at 8, and I'm going to draw a closed circle since it's greater than but equal to, and an arrow to the right. And then for the second inequality, v is less than 1, I'm going to draw an open circle at 1, and then an arrow to the left showing values that are less than 1. So this would be the answer for your worksheet number 2, and this is how you solve compound inequalities and graph them on a number line. Just one other thing, if you're doing this worksheet, you should not get an answer where both of your lines are graphed in the same direction, either to the right or to the left. If you get a situation that looks like either of these two sets down here, you did something wrong. Okay, so you should not get two lines in the same direction. If they're joined by and, they overlap, like our picture. And if they're joined by or, the lines are separate, but not in the same direction. All right, good luck tonight, and see you with questions next class. Okay.